Hello, friends. Sorry I was a little bit late. My husband was talking to my son on the phone, and we were trying to get dinner ready, and it just got to be, we just got a little behind. So I just wanted to post and make sure you guys knew I was going to be a few minutes late. Trying to get my computer all ready here so I can see comments. We don't have too much to finish up, actually. I'm going to show a few things that are kind of done and finish up a few things, and then we can kind of talk about, like, if you guys have any questions or anything. So this is the main one we're going to work on, and I just kind of want to show you how I'm going to do a bunch of just bright colors of flowers, and then we're going to, sorry, I'm trying to get all my paints out here. It looks like I might be frozen on my computer, so I've got a little bit of time that way. But I'm going to show you some kind of different techniques on this painting. I did finish the wine glass painting. All I really had left was doing the actual wine glass. As far as the palette knife part of it, you can really do as much or as little of the texturizing as you want. I'm just going to leave mine as it is, but adding the yellow little highlights on the greenery really made that pop. And then, as you can see, I added color into the table at the bottom. But we're all pretty well finished with that one, so I'm going to set it aside. I just wanted to have it on the table to kind of show you guys how it ended up, because I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to work on these other two, because I've kind of put this floral one on the back burner, because really the main parts of it were this crackle, and then showing you these two flower techniques, and then working on the flowers and the leaves, showing you, just adding colors into, hi Christina, adding colors into each of to kind of make it all cohesive. But then, of course, I know everyone's waiting to see how we finish this off. I did do the flowers on her at the top here. And tonight I'm going to use the modeling paste, not the joint compound. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to kind of have that be the big finale while we work on this for a little bit. So I have this bright pink color that I'm going to do a couple of flowers with. And it's actually called hibiscus, which is obviously a flower. So I'm going to get this brush. I've been using really small flowers, or really small brushes this week, but I don't tend to do that. I tend to really use bigger brushes, but I feel like using these bigger or smaller brushes can kind of help you guys see a little better. So I've just been using smaller brushes. I mean, sometimes, obviously, for this, the details of that portrait, smaller brushes were really needed. But I do tend to use bigger brushes most of the time. And so I don't know really why I've been navigating to smaller brushes this week. This flower here is going to kind of go off the page, off of the canvas here. And then there's another matching one down here in this corner. I'm kind of making these look a little hibiscus, so. Oh, I thought my screen was going to freeze again like it did this morning, but it came right back on, so. once I get kind of these base coats on, we'll kind of go over what else I'm gonna do with this. So see, you can see on a canvas board as opposed to paper. This is just one coat of this Yvette Saint Amant color. And the coverage is really, really nice. So this is one of her colors called Hibiscus. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe that off a little bit. And I'm gonna go now to this honeysuckle color. Again, another one of hers. And I'm gonna paint these. I'm not sure what kind of flowers these are supposed to be. I just kind of shaped them and went with it. There's another one right here. I had trouble with my I don't know what the deal is. My internet was really slow today, even on my phone and my tablet, which I usually don't have too much trouble with. It was really slow today, so I don't know what the deal is. I saw that you went live too, but I missed it and I haven't had a chance to watch the replay. It looked like a really cute project. I assume that's maybe one of your projects for your camp that you have coming up, but it was really cute. I did see the project, I just didn't catch the live. So what I kind of do with the colors is I don't have the final green color on the greenery yet, which I meant to do first, but I started talking and kind of lost track of what I was doing. But I kind of go back with some of the flower colors, and I just kind of make, kind of like I did with the yellow on the greenery of the wine glass, just kind of touch it with some of those colors to kind of make them all, the painting more cohesive and everything kind of married together. I'll just go ahead and paint these. I was going to use that brighter green, but it was just very, very translucent. So I decided I was going to use this other green instead. And whenever you're layering stuff, you know, you just kind of pick and choose, like, which one do I want to be on top? Which one do I want it to be under? I mean, it's really a personal preference. There's no right or wrong, so. Ooh. That kind of honeysuckle mixed in with that, but that's okay. So yeah, I got that greenery kind of done there. So I am going to take a little of this honeysuckle and I'm just going to kind of dot it in the middle of this flower. I don't want it to be solid. like a solid dot. And this one I'm even going to make a little smaller. I just kind of want it to be irregular, but that there is a middle to it. Then all of these greenery, I go through with every color and just kind of put a little splotch on the greenery with each color. Doesn't have to be a lot. And that kind of just brings it all together. And then you can do the same with the flowers. You know, you can kind of, every color you use that's not the color of the flower, you can kind of put a little, just a little splotch of color. It kind of marries it all together, I guess. So I am going to put a little bit of this pink here, a little bit of the pink over here. Makes it a very interesting composition where you're adding some of the contrasting colors to each of the flowers and the greenery. Christina, it might just be you and me again tonight, girl. I am going to use another color for one more flower on here, so, but I just want to make sure I get some of this orange and pink on all of them. But even though it's very subtle, it just kind of brings it all together and makes it look more like a very cohesive arrangement. You could even make some in the stripes. I'm going to leave the stripes alone by themselves, but you could even do them in the stripes as well. But it's just kind of a fun little way to bring everything together. I did forget there's kind of a vine here that I forgot to make the branch to. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to make, oh good. Yeah, I like the colors added in too. And you can really do that with any type of painting. Just that little like touch of your brush with another color really makes a big difference in the way your painting looks at the end. Like I said, I think we're the only ones on, but let me know if you decide to subscribe, Christina, either digital or the box. Send me a message. I set up the email flow for subscribers, but I don't know if it's set up right, and the training in Launch Your Box was not very helpful. Me and another girl both posted in the group about it, and someone replied to the lesson, which I had already listened to that lesson and didn't find it helpful the first time, but I did rewatch it, and I still don't know that I have it set up right. So if you decide to subscribe, again, no pressure. If you're not, that's totally fine. But if you do, send me a message just so I can, and let me know if you got an email afterwards that said, welcome, you're a subscriber or whatever. I don't remember how I worded it, but because I kind of put it together and I was so frustrated by that time that I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to say because I'm so frustrated by now. The technology stuff is not fun for sure. Because I just want to make sure, that a new subscriber gets some sort of communication, whether I actually do it manually or figure out how to do the you know, set up a flow properly, because I may end up having to call Nicole on this one, because there's not really the, you know, on the wait list and email subscribers, you know, there's an embed form that ties it to Klaviyo, and for this there's really not, so it's kind of hard to tell if you have it set up correctly. Okay, so like I said, I got this little viney branch, and I'm actually going to use my colors to make more little branches on it. I don't really expect tonight will be super long, just because once we finish this, and then the last step on the portrait's not going to really take too long. So, you know, for sure by 7, I expect that we'll be done. Yeah, see, isn't that fun? I think that's just super fun. Okay, so now I have this one extra flower. I don't really want to use yellow because I know it's just going to be, it's going to be a hassle, because it's going to need so many coats for it to really show. How about, don't really want to use blues, but maybe purple. Let's go with this violet pansy. I did remember to get my camera the right direction tonight. I made sure when I put it up in my tripod thing that the screen was facing the right way. I think what happened this morning was, once I placed it up there, it thought I rotated it again, and it ended up being upside down, and I didn't even notice until you said something. I was like, oh yeah, it is. So tonight I actually made sure that once I put it up there that it was facing the right way. All right, so I'm going to use this purple color. And it's going to kind of go behind . Well, either way, I'm going to need more than one coat, because this purple isn't really covering very good either. But that's okay. Okay, come back into my pops of color here. Oh, perfect. Yeah, the digital subscription is perfect, because you have, you know, you have a lot of art stuff, obviously, with your background. I kind of thought that's, if you did, that's which way you would lean, and that's totally fine, because I mean, that's perfect for you, with you have all all of the stuff. So, but yeah, definitely let me know if you get an email, because I'm, you know, people who don't know you're supposed to get one, I guess it wouldn't be a big deal, but I just want to see if people get some sort of communication from me that, hey, you're in. And if you decide not to, Christina, that's totally fine too. I mean, it's not a big deal at all when you've got all of your other stuff going on too. So really, that's all there is to this one. I mean, really, the eye-catching part to this painting is the crackle and the stripes, and then this floral coming in. I could definitely, you know, make this flower a little bigger to take up more of this white space. I could make the greenery a little bigger, but I'm happy with the way it is so far. So I'm not really gonna. I probably won't go back and like change anything unless I, you know, like I said, extend this flower, make it a little more, take up a little more of that white space. But, and I could even just go in with extra color and splotch in the background. Maybe I'll just do that. We'll see what that looks like. So if I go through and just kind of put some blocks of color in various places, maybe that's what I'll do. And that helps take up some of that white space, but it's not so overpowering as to be a whole separate flower. Kind of looks neat, huh? Just to kind of have some extra color in there in random places. It kind of takes up that white spot, but it doesn't take away from the rest of the flowers. Yeah, I don't know. This I just don't know. And I know in the paywall there was an option to send a thank you in there, but I exit out of it because I'm like, well, surely I can set that up through Klaviyo, but it's just all of the tech things, isn't it? All right, put a second coat on this flower here, and then I think I'm pretty well done with this one. I knew this one wasn't really going to take too long after I got the crackle part done, so I kind of put it off to the end, knowing it wasn't going to be too complicated, other than just showing you how to tie in all the colors together. Then I'll put some of this orange in this middle part here. There. So this one's essentially done. I'm satisfied with it, and the only thing I might go back and do is go back and make these flowers, these branches or petals, whatever you want to call them. These strokes go out farther where it makes it more like it takes up this extra white space around it. Otherwise, this one's pretty well done. I'm satisfied with how it turned out. So I am going to move on to the Our Lady friend. And after that, we're done. But the flowers turned out really cute. I really liked them after I got them on. I am going to move this to the side, out of my way. So like I said, I'm using modeling paste for this one instead of the joint compound. And I get this really big container of it through Amazon. It's Designer's Palette is the brand. I know it's backwards for you, but then it's just acrylic medium modeling paste. If you go into Amazon and type in modeling paste, one of these will come up as your option. And I get this is a 32 ounce quart size. They have a smaller one too. But if you thought you would use it a lot, I would definitely get the bigger size. But even if you just want to play around with it, but it's thicker already than the joint compound. So I kind of like it. And okay, this is what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with color. Like, what color am I going to use for her? Because like I said, the navy, I ended up using the navy for one of the flowers because I had already decided I wasn't going to do navy. But then I'm struggling. Like, I don't want to do red because I want the red of her lips to pop out. I mean, should I just do white? I really would like to do like gold, but I know mixing the gold with this modeling paste, the metallic part of it just disappears. So I'm guessing maybe just white. I don't really know what other color would look right. Pink won't look right because of the red. The struggle is real, Christina, because I'm just struggling with what color do I need to use. And I really think the white is going to pop the most. But then I almost wonder if it's going to blend in too much. So I really don't know. And I can't remember. I honestly don't remember if the modeling paste dries clear or white. So I am going to add a little bit of white paint into it just because I can't remember. It's been a while since I've used the modeling paste. I've been using the joint compound for so long that I can't remember. And I'm pretty sure it dries white, but just on the off chance that it would dry clear, I want to make sure I have a color on there. But I'm just looking at my other colors and really nothing is going to work really. I have a rose gold that would be really pretty, but again, it's a metallic, and once you mix it in with that, it takes the metallic away. I'm just going to go with white. Yeah, just going to go with white. So I'm going to mix a little bit of white paint in with that. And the same with the joint compound. Whatever color you use with the joint compound, it will kind of lighten it just a tad. So you want to make sure you know that when you're getting ready to do it, that if you want it to be like a dark blue, you want to add more paint because it's gonna dilute it a little bit. And I think what I'm gonna do also, once I get this placed properly, I think I get it lined up and then I'm like, oh, nope. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a little bit of tape and kind of hold it down just because I don't want it to move once I start. So usually what I do when I'm doing this technique is I use like an old gift card or an old credit card. but I can't find the one I had. I know I moved it, and I remember putting it somewhere, but I haven't found where that somewhere is. And I'm sure you have never had that problem, Christina, where you put it in safekeeping and then you don't know where safekeeping is. So I'm just going to use my palette knife. But really for something like this that you want it to kind of stand up, like a credit card or an old gift card, something like that tends to work a little better just because it's wider. So I also have some things I used to use when I did some stenciling, but I don't know where they are either. They were not in the move when I moved out here this summer, so you just scrape it across, bringing it all the way down. And you do want it to kind of be a thicker layer. I actually might not have got enough in my tray. I might have to get some more. I thought I had a whole gob. But you do want it to be a thicker layer because you want it to be raised. Might be able to make it work without getting some more. So you're just kind of smoothing this out. If the stencil for sure is bigger than the paper, I do tend to tape it just so I don't have to worry about holding while I'm scraping the paint to where I want it for the modeling paste. Then stick that over there. Just be careful when you raise it up. You want to make sure you raise it pretty level just so it doesn't smear. You have that problem daily. Is it better now that you're home all the time? I know mine definitely is not. So, okay. So then I'm just going to raise this up like so. And there you are. Look at that. Oh, the white does look really good. It does really make that pop. I did have a little bit of seepage in a couple of places, but not too bad. But then this will be raised off of the paper and be kind of a textury look. So I think part of the problem is I didn't have it completely lined up down here, but I'm not worried about it at all. But isn't that really cool looking? I wish you could see it like when it's dry, that it's raised. But it ends up being really cool, especially if you have high contrast color. So if you did like a black with grays and then did a white, that would be, or a red even, that would be really stunning. Or like pinks with the black, that would be really pretty. So there's lots of options with different things you could do. And I could definitely go in with a baby wipe and wipe that excess seepage out, but I'm not going to worry about it at all, just because it's not worth the stress of trying to get my baby wipe with my fingernail in there. But yeah, this is totally my favorite project of the week. I really like how it turned out. And then this you can just rinse off, in your sink with like you would any other stencil. I'm holding it because I know if I lay it down, I'll get this modeling paste all over something. But that is it. That is it. So if you decide to subscribe, oh, good. You put them in your Amazon cart. They're so fun. There's like, I think there's 7 or 8 different faces. So They're a lot of fun to play with. I mean, you could totally do a series of them and hang them in a set on the wall or something, and that would be really fun. I might actually do something like that, but I'm going to probably pick a consistent color palette and do them that way. Greens tend to be my favorite color, so I might pick just a bunch of greens and teals and do them all in a setting to hang together. But yeah, that's the end of the workshop, and I so appreciate you being here and supporting me. It's really been nice chatting with you and having you kind of go along the journey as we're both going through the same thing. But it's nice to have those people who understand what you're going through and that show up for you. So I really appreciate that. I will do another, the coupon code. So if you do end up deciding to do digital, make sure you do it before midnight tonight, because that coupon code does expire at midnight. So if you're going to do it, I want you to get the $2 off for being here. And then this group is the same group that, like, if you subscribe, this is the group you'll be in. So you'll just stay in here if you subscribed. Otherwise, if you decide not to, like I said, no worries if you decide not to, but then you'll just be deleted from this group, just so you know it is going to be a private group for paid subscribers. So, but I'll wait till Sunday when the my launch the cart closes to delete anybody out of it. So, but let me know, keep in touch. Let me know what you decide about the July launch for you. Like I said, I know you have a lot going on with your camps and such, and so I totally get it if July would be almost too much for you. So, because if I hadn't got all this stuff organized already, I would have done it in July, but I was like, I am not going back and reorganizing all this stuff after I've done all this work. So, but we will chat soon. Have a good night. Bye.